What is up, guys? It's your boy John, and I just want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Gearbox. So today, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I already did 5 things I hate about my WRX. It only makes sense if I do 5 things I love about my WRX. So we're gonna go outside, and we're gonna do that. But first, I have to install this license plate frame because I heard, through the pipeline that it adds about 5 horsepower. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, back the car out, get in some good lighting so y'all can see the beauty of the 2019 WRX. And then I'm also going to give you an update on stage 1. I've been having some minor issue. I'm not really sure what it is or what it could be. Hopefully some of y'all might know what the hell is going on because I sure as hell don't. But anyway, this episode is brought to you by Bud Light. Not a sponsor, but we're gonna crack a cold one. Why not? Anyway, let's get to it. About this 2019 WRX has to be the looks. I mean, just look at it. You can't hate how this car looks. It is great. Might be a little bit of a wheel gap issue, but we will get that fixed eventually. I mean, I think this car is a really great looking car, and especially with this color. Ice Silver Metallic, I believe, is the name of it. But even, jumping on to the interior of the car, I mean, I just think it all looks really good. I understand where some people might think that it looks and feels kind of cheap on the inside. But I mean, you start getting into the, the steering wheel, the gauge, obviously stage 1, the shift knob, everything just looks amazing in my opinion. And I really wouldn't want it any other way. Like I said, I understand people who, bitch and moan about cheap interior parts or whatever, but I like it. I'll change some of it, but I absolutely love it. So that is number 1. Moving on to the number 2 thing that I love about my 2019 Subaru WRX is the engine. Nice little boxer engine. So for those who are unaware or whatever, the 2019 Subaru WRX utilizes the FA20 engine. It is a boxer engine. If you don't know what a boxer engine is, look it up. I don't know. Just go look it up. People can explain it a lot better than I can. But the reason I love this engine so much is the noises, the sounds. I mean, it's a great engine. Redline. It's always, let's put it this way. It has the potential to do some really cool things. Out of the factory, it's by no means overly impressive or anything like that, but it is a great engine from what I've heard and read on multiple forums before I bought the car. Since I've had the car, it is a bulletproof engine. As long as you're doing the proper maintenance, just like anything. But it's really a great engine. I look forward to doing more stuff with this engine. I think it'll be a great platform to make some power, make some cool sounds. Speaking of which, stage 1 turbo sound, incredible. Just gonna throw that out there. If you're still deciding if stage 1 is worth it, I understand the price tag might be cause a little hesitation to some. It's worth it, 100%. But yeah, the engine is great, and I absolutely love it. And that is number 2. Number 3 for top 5 things I love about the Subaru WRX, kind of relating to the engine in some regards, but not fully, And number 3 has to be the aftermarket, capabilities of the WRX platform. Obviously, the Subaru WRX is a legend when it comes to racing, heritage, and all that sort of stuff. And now it has become more and more a legend in regards to the aftermarket. I mean, you see WRXs utilized as an aftermarket platform all the time, me being one of them. And I plan to do a lot with this car. And like I said earlier, there are some plans, all of which require money and time. So we will get to that at some point, but the aftermarket, community for the WRX is amazing. Wheels, tires, suspension, power, cosmetics, you name it, there's a shit ton of WRX parts out there. And definitely one of the reasons I bought it, I was definitely looking to buy a car with major aftermarket potential. And clearly chose the WRX. So that's number 3. Moving on to the number 4 thing that I love about my 2019 WRX is handling/drivetrain. So starting off with handling. This car is by no means a speed demon, stock at least, but it has enough power to have fun, right? I have fun. I'm sure everyone else who owns a WRX has fun. But I think where the WRX will kind of get ahead of the curve in relation to other sports cars like a WRX is the handling. So if you take this on, what I typically do, a backcountry road, mountain runs, whatever, autocross, the handling in this car is really good. It's a pretty stiff suspension, which, eliminates body roll and all that sort of shit. But it's a really fun car to you don't even have to drive it hard. Just apex a turn here, do all this sort of stuff. Maybe give it a little, it's a fun car to drive and it handles really well. And I never, before I owned this car, this is my first sports car that I've owned. I'd ridden it a lot, but you hear people talk all the time about stiff suspension. You don't want a stiff suspension on a daily driver, blah, blah, blah. I never really felt that. You can't really get a full understanding of it until you're driving a sports car with a stiff suspension. This definitely has it. It's not the stiffest suspension out there because it's not an STI. It's not a freaking race car, but it's stiff enough to have a lot of fun and very little body roll, honestly. Stock, which is amazing. Now on to the drivetrain part would be the all-wheel drive capabilities of the WRX. So having all-wheel drive is amazing. I didn't really know not how much I'd like it, because I knew I'd like it, but just how amazing it actually is. Growing up in Cincinnati, we had to deal with any shitty weather you could possibly imagine, snow and ice being part of it. Part of the reason why I bought this car was knowing that, okay, I'm living in South Carolina now, clearly, because I'm sweating my ass off, because it's like 95 degrees. But if I go back to Cincinnati for Christmas or whatever, and it snows, I'm not going to be fucked with I was looking at a 350, for example, or a 370Z. That just wouldn't be fun. Rear wheel drive in the snow is awful, and I know my beauty will take care of me. And that is perfect. And as along the same lines, you have your daily driving, and then to get to the more performance driving or whatever, you're not gonna lose traction. You're always going to have control over the vehicle. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. And I can't wait to be able to push this car more. Like right now, I'm not scared to push it. I just don't want to break shit. But when I get to the point where I'm upgrading the clutch or upgrading suspension to really be able to, go after it, the all-wheel drive is going to save my ass probably more than I'll ever know. So that is number 4. Drivetrain and handling. Moving on to number 5 of the 5 things that I love about my Subaru WRX is 4 doors, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fat ass trunk. So being a large individual like myself, 6'3", and having a lot of friends with the same height and weight as me, it is absolutely wonderful to know that I can actually have people in my car. I looked at a lot of coupes, you know, obviously for sports car reasons. And when it came down to it, I'm just like, you know, I don't necessarily love driving people around and being a damn chauffeur. I really don't like it. But knowing that if I had to take my friends somewhere, or if I'm going on a road trip like I am next week, you know, I have all the room in the world to do so. I mean, the trunk, although it looks full right now, I've got my golf bags, I have a shit ton of room back here, have my pilot bag, all this stuff. I mean, I have the best of both worlds as far as, you know, sports car feel and all this stuff with the practicality of a 4-door sedan. And I didn't understand. I think I would have been disappointed to some degree had I gone with either a BRZ or a 350Z or something of that nature. I mean, I would have loved the car, but just to know that, like, I have a lot of room and I can go fast and drive fun. Like, it's amazing. That is going to conclude 5 things that I love about my 2019 WRX. Absolutely love the car. There's so many more things than 5 that I could choose, and it was so hard to choose those 5. But anyway, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, notification bell. Go subscribe to my Instagram, Gearbox Autos, to give you a little more in-depth view of kind of what I'm doing and to give you an update on when videos are posted. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see ya.